Hello. Welcome to Hello. My name is Kira and I'm a third year student at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. I've been living in Korea for about 4 years, and ever since I was young, I really wanted to study at a Korean university. I didn't know it was possible for the longest amount of time, and I've been working towards this goal for, I would say, almost 10 years. And now that I've achieved this dream of mine of studying at a Korean university, here are some things that I would have liked to know before I came here and before I became a student. For some context, I graduated from a university in my home country of the Netherlands before I came here, and these are just some differences that I noticed between that experience and my experience at HUFS. And although it can be quite specific, these points are still relevant for people who have not studied in their home country or for people who would like to enroll in different universities in Korea. I think they're quite general, and these are also things that not only I have noticed, but also some of my friends who are studying in different universities all around the country. So let's go! So first of all, one thing that I always hear from especially Korean students, but I guess also a lot of foreign students, is the importance of Korean university rankings. And what I would like to say to that is that although they are important, I think their importance is a bit exaggerated. I think for most students, university rankings are still quite important, but not as relevant as people make them seem. So first of all, there's two different scenarios. So people who would like to start a career in Korea and people who would like to start a career abroad. For the first category, people who want to work in Korea, of course, having graduated from a good Korean university, a prestigious university, is still a benefit. I can't deny that you will not get privileges if you graduated from a Sky University, so Korea, Yonsei, and Seoul University. Also, I really don't want to take away credit for people who made it into one of these three universities because they are still really prestigious. Applause for you, you worked really hard, but that doesn't mean that people who do not attend one of these top universities don't stand a chance in Korea at all. As long as your university is accredited and people know the name, you should be totally fine. So for example, I did my language here at Altough University. That is not a university in Seoul. However, it is still quite a high-ranking university within different university rankings. It is still a name that rings a bell for people. So in my opinion, completing a degree at this kind of university is still worth it. For the second type of students, so people who study in Korea and then move back to their home country or a third country, depending on the country, having studied in Korea is already a really great achievement. I think most foreigners are not too familiar with Korean universities, so if it's not Sky, you might still get away with just mentioning that you have studied in Korea. That prestige in and of itself would already get you quite far. I'm pretty sure that a Dutch company wouldn't know the difference between the university ranking for for example, HUFS, Altough University or Kyunghee University, which are all similarly ranked universities, except for Sky. Just being able to say that you studied in Seoul or Korea in and of itself, I think that is already a huge achievement. It also shows your character, being able to live on your own, being able to take care of yourself, surviving on your own. I think that is already a huge achievement that companies would value. So the university rankings, although they are important, as long as the name is either known or you can get away with just the prestige of studying in Korea, I think that is more than enough. So for my second point, this is a point that I have seen being discussed on the internet by foreign students, but I haven't seen too many people talk about it. It is that English lectures are usually not English lectures. I have friends who do not speak Korean at all. They speak zero Korean, nothing. Can maybe not even introduce themselves. And they are in lectures that are supposed to be in English. For 70 or 80% of the lectures, I believe the professor just keeps speaking Korean. It kind of makes sense. The professor is Korean, usually. And then the other students are also Korean. And if you're the only foreigner, they might find it easier to just do it in Korean. Of course, this is not right though, because they're supposed to be English lectures and universities market themselves as good for foreigners, but at the same time, this is a situation that is very real, a problem that many students have run into in the past. Even if a university or a course markets itself as an English taught program, if there are Koreans in there, there is quite a big chance that you may still have to be able to speak Korean to follow your lectures. Another thing is that a lot of professors, being Korean, they can have quite big accents. They may not be as fluent as they are supposed to be. I have not experienced this myself, thank God. But getting fluent in Konglish or learning Korean is definitely a benefit, even if you're in a English-only major. Learn Korean when you come here. That said, it also works the other way around, right? So a lot of my Korean taught lectures that I'm taking include a lot of English. Now for point 3, I would like to talk a bit about professors in Korea. I was really worried about the method of teaching in Korea. I heard a lot of horror stories about professors just being horrible. I've seen a lot of K-dramas where professors are portrayed as these really scary people who are really unreasonable, old school. And of course there are people like that, but I really feel like it's a caricature at this point. Most professors are just chill. A lot of my professors are like around their 40s. They're just really laid back, they like academics, they're really intelligent people who know a lot of stuff. And I think that caricature does them really dirty. I think most of my professors, they're really nice people. To go a bit more into detail about Korean professors, in my university, most of my professors have studied abroad. Their teaching style really reflects that. So wherever they studied, that country's style really influenced their own teaching style. So for example, my professors who studied in more westernized countries, they tend to give more projects, they have working sessions within their lectures. Generally, they are a bit more laid back than like Korean professors who have not studied abroad. As for professors who just have like lecture style lectures, just teaching, just talking, it is usually the professors who have not studied abroad or professors who are more introverted. I guess maybe this reflects their own preferences as well from when they were students. But generally speaking, I think professors in Korea are really great. They are really open-minded, they're interested in their students. Yeah, that bad rap, like, we could just get rid of that, I guess. Oh, and one tip to avoid the professors who are a bit more traditional, a little bit more conservative. There's this app in Korea called Every Time where a lot of the students leave reviews on their classes and give you tips. If you read those reviews well, you should be able to avoid most of the rotten apples. But generally speaking, I don't think there's that many of them. Now for point number 4, like this really like course registration in Korea, it's absolute hell. It is just horrible. I did not know about course registration. Where I'm from, you just get like a cute little timetable and you just go to your classes and you don't have any choice at all, or like barely any choice. In my case, I got to choose one subject out of everything I studied. Having to fight for my life, having to fight over like literal scraps, over like literal seats in a class, it's insane to me. For people who don't know how it works, in Korea, every student gets to make their own timetable, giving you the benefits that you can take classes that you're genuinely interested in from professors that you like. You can take classes within different majors, or like maybe not as related to your major as the classes would be in like the Netherlands, where they just give you the schedule, which is a great benefit, but it comes with a really dark side as well, which is hundreds of students fighting over mandatory classes during class registration. For example, one class can have capacity of 30 to 50 people, but my major is like hundreds of people, right? And these classes are mandatory to take. You have to take them to graduate. So what ends up happening is that on a specific day that the university sets, at exactly 10 o'clock in my case, hundreds and thousands of students are just logging into the class registration website trying to get one of these spots. That can mean that like 30 students are after one seat, and if you miss it, that one seat that you wanted, like you have to change your whole schedule and you might be unable to graduate, which sucks. You may have to pay another semester of tuition just to take 3 credits. Yeah, that competition I was not ready for. The amount of stress I felt on that day is insane. Luckily for me, this semester I was able to get 2 mandatory classes, which is not bad. Not really good, but like not bad. But yeah, I missed almost every single class that I wanted to take. I made a schedule and I got exactly 1 class because the program like lagged while registering for the first class because it was the most competitive. So yeah, not what I expected, but it's what I got. Yeah, class registration is hell. Then point number 5 is more financial. It's the health insurance. In Korea, there is a mandatory health insurance that every single Korean and every single foreigner who stays in Korea for over 6 months has to register for. Like, you're automatically registered. And I didn't know about this. The fees of this health insurance are based on occupation. So for students, it's a bit lower, and for people who are working, it's a bit higher. In my case, it's 76,000 won, which is not the most expensive. Like, you get like an 80 to 90% discount on your healthcare, which is really, really nice. But as a Dutch person, I don't really go to the hospital often, and I didn't know about this expense. So sometimes it can feel like a waste, but be prepared for the healthcare costs, because I was not, but now you are. And then for my sixth point, that is scholarships. Also something I was not too familiar with, because in my country, every school is state-owned. You're automatically receiving like a scholarship. But in Korea, everyone pays full tuition unless they have like a specific skill set. So in Korea, you can get all sorts of scholarships. Generally, I would divide them into 3 types of scholarships. So the first one is the government-owned scholarships. So the well-known GKS scholarship, for example, falls under that. The second one is like from your university, which is the type of scholarship that I'm currently on. The last type of scholarship is like scholarship provided by like businesses or charities, and they're like not related to the government and also not related to your university. The way to get these scholarships is different for all universities, but based on the way you're applying for university, you might find different scholarships. So in my case, I was not eligible for a lot of the government-owned or business-owned scholarships. So I mostly focused on looking into the university-based scholarships. So for my university, they offer different kinds of university scholarships. So either based on prestige, like how good of a student you are, if you have like a very high GPA, or you did really incredible things in either your previous university or your high school, you qualify for like a scholarship. But I didn't qualify for those either, because I don't think studying is the most important thing in your life. So my GPA was not the best, definitely not bad, but not the best. But the type of scholarship I do recommend most people focus on is language-based scholarships. If you speak Korean really well, or if you speak English really well, most universities will give you a scholarship. I used this as a kind of investment. My Korean at the time was topic level 4, which qualifies you for a scholarship based on language. I would have qualified for, I believe, a 30 to 50% scholarship at topic level 4, but I realized I speak English really well, and I noticed that if you have IELTS 8.0 or above, you get 100% off of your studies. I spent the 300,000 won to sign up for the IELTS exam, and in the end I got an 8.5 average score, which qualified me for the scholarship. I spent a lot of money to take the IELTS exam, but in the end I got 100% off of my studies. So I made like 4.2 million profit off of this scholarship. Definitely don't forget to check out scholarship opportunities. Even if you don't have anything to offer, you might be able to still get a scholarship. That is what I wanted to say. So for my final thoughts, studying at a Korean university is a dream that many people have, and it may seem really scary at first, but after attending a few weeks, you get used to it. It is not as scary as it might look. Also, while the academic environment might be different than what you're used to, in the end the goal is the same. Every university wants to create young professionals who are able to go into the workforce. So maybe the way they achieve that is a bit different, but universities are there to support you, your professors are there to support you, so don't worry about it too much. All of us have the same goal in mind, which is for us to pass. And as long as you remember that, you know, that could be like a little comfort for you. Well, it is for me, it's a comfort for me. As my final message to you, I would like to remind you that there's so many resources on your campus, online, with your friends, in your community maybe even. So the more open-minded and proactive you are, the more successful you will be. Don't forget about the resources that you may have. Like, talk to your family, talk to your friends, go online, watch videos like these. Use the resources that are offered to you, and don't be afraid to contact universities about specifics. I was really afraid that it might influence the chance of me getting accepted into university, but admissions offices are there to help you. Don't be intimidated, they're usually really nice people. So now, a question for you guys. What are you still curious about? What are things that you would like to know before you enter university in Korea, or generally before moving to Korea? If you have any questions, leave them down below, and make sure to subscribe or like or follow, whatever you want to do. And remember, universities are not a scary place. They're just there to train and help you. Bye bye!